Hello guys, a very good morning. It is on a Thursday, the 7th of August 2025. So these are the updates from both Kenya and Somalia, but let me begin with Kenya because a lot is happening in Kenya. So yesterday, you remember that the two leading newspapers, that is the Standard and the Daily Nation, reported that the US is investigating and is trying to assess the links that Kenya has with armed groups like RSF and China and Iran and also Russia. So yesterday, while at a round table business meeting in Nairobi, President William RUTO said that Kenya's links to China or Kenya's relationship with China is basically of economic interest. And he avoided talking about his links to RSF and armed groups. So this is what happened last evening. So last evening, the former impeached deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, that is Rigathi Gachagua, who was the former deputy of William Ruto, in a town hall meeting in Kansas, the United States of America, sensationally claimed that he has evidence that Ruto is working with not only RSF, but also Al-Shabaab in Somalia. So he went head on and said that Ruto, while on a visit to Mandera, while on a tour to Northeastern and specifically Mandera County, that William Ruto met three key Al-Shabaab leaders and they were discussing business. That's according to Rigathi Gachagua. So the US Foreign Relations Committee chairman said that yesterday that they are assessing Kenya's links to terrorism, to armed groups, not terrorism group, but armed groups, and they specifically named RSF, but they never mentioned the other armed groups. So Rigathi Gachagua in a town hall meeting yesterday sensational claimed that Ruto is working with even Al-Shabaab and they're doing business with Al-Shabaab, and he even went ahead on and said that Ruto met three key Al-Shabaab leaders in the border town of Mandera in Kenya. So that is something that is very, very, sensational. It's something that, I don't know how the William Ruto administration will respond to that, but a lot is happening concerning that. And the reason why the US wants to assess and also downgrade or remove Kenya from the list of non-NATO allied members is because of China. So Ruto went to China. He met, the Chinese leadership. They rolled the red carpet for him. It was a state visit. And it seems that Ruto, when he was asked, are you working with China? But he said, that is early this year, he said that Kenya is not looking east nor west. Kenya is looking forward. And Kenya will only do whatever that is in the best of interest of Kenya. So that is what is happening in Kenya. And yesterday, some police officers were injured, severely injured in a roadside bomb in Garissa. And Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for that. So Al-Shabaab is also still operating within the border towns in Kenya. Not only yesterday, but the day before yesterday, that is on Tuesday morning, Al-Shabaab tried to carry out a massive attack in a military camp called Marereni, Lamu, but they were repelled. So Al-Shabaab fighters came in huge numbers, but the Kenya Defense Forces repelled them, and they fought back. And Kenya has a problem with Al-Shabaab fighters based in Boni Forest, and mostly about the bulk of those fighters are mostly Kenyans from the coastal northeastern province, and they joined Al-Shabaab at the peak of Al-Shabaab activities, or at the peak of Al-Shabaab formation. That is in 2008, 9, 10, 11, upwards. So Kenya has been having this kind of problem, and these guys come in groups of 5, 4, or 3, and they bury bombs or explosives beside the road and target Kenyan military or police convoy. So yesterday, a dozen police officers were injured when their armored personnel carrier overran an IED. So that is what is happening in Kenya. And let me cross over to Somalia. So Ethiopia has named a new ambassador to Somalia, a very controversial figure, an individual who was, one time quoted as saying that he supports the secession of Somaliland from the rest of Somalia. So this is a very, very controversial individual, and it seems that Ethiopia wants to recognize Somaliland as an independent country if Somaliland gives them part of the, coastal strip that is basically part of the coastal town called Berbera to establish a naval base. So within Somalia still, so yesterday I ignored the report, And this report seems to be, coming back again and again. And this report is about the Ethiopian troops based in southern part of Somalia. That's specifically the town called Dolo that borders Ethiopia. From on the side of southern Somalia, it's called Dolo. So it is said that the Ethiopian troops or the Ethiopian army based there invited elders to a meeting, and they instructed the elders. This, according to the governor of Gedo region. And so they instructed the elders in Gedo region to tell the Somali National Army to vacate Beled How, or else they will be met with unknown consequences. So those are Ethiopia's army or Ethiopia's military telling the Somali National Army to vacate part of their country, or they will be met with unknown consequences. So that is what is happening in Somalia.